So yesterday, my sister brings in her truck, and she's complaining about a clunking noise in the front end, and Drew and I got it up on the hoist and gave it a quick once over to see what might be going on. If the way she explained when she hit the brakes, it made a clunk. I thought maybe there was a caliper that was coming loose or whatever, but we got it in here and looked at everything. It looked all right, and when Drew sat it back down, he had me come look at one of the wheels because it looked like it was sitting funny, and I was like, well, maybe sometimes the suspension will, when you lift them up, they'll cockeye a little bit, and when you back up, then they'll straighten out. So he goes to back out the truck, and I heard a noise, and I went outside and looked, and hear the truck sitting there all half sideways, looks like a wheel fell off or something, and went outside, and let's see, this is what happened. Here, I'll go get a light here. You can see that ball joint. The ball isn't even there anymore. It just snapped off. I don't know if it's because of the aftermarket wheels putting extra pressure on it or what. That boot's been replaced. You can see it's got a blue rubber boot on it, and then it tore the half shaft all apart, and so we're gonna tear it apart and put a new boot and a new ball joint on it. It was just kind of odd, when we had it in here, everything seemed tight, so I don't know if it just broke all of a sudden, because it could still have a clunking noise in it when we get done, because that shouldn't have, if that ball joint was loose, it would have separated up there, but this one just broke clean off. So we'll have to drive it after we're done and see if there's another noise going on. Sorry, I got a noisy waste oil furnace that heats the shop. I already popped out part of the half shaft. I just took a hammer and tapped it, and it came out of the rear or the front axle. Next thing I'm going to do is take the nut loose on the ball joint and get the broken stud part out of there. Better look at what happened there. I don't know if you can see, but there's supposed to be like a ball that comes up here, and it just snapped clean off. It does have some wear, like it got worn smooth. I don't know if we can get it to focus there. Could have been broken, rubbing back and forth in there for a little bit. So hopefully that's our noise. I don't know how well you guys can see this, but if you look at all the white, the salt from the roads. Poor truck, everything's just covered. We got the Iowa salt. Next thing we need to do, there's a snap ring on top of the ball joint there. I'm going to get a strap and pull that out of the way so we can get down to it and get a wire brush it and get our snap ring off. something we can hook on here. There. Let's see what we got. Oh. And I don't like having all the salt and stand on the roads, but I'm not going to complain a whole lot because it's job security, because I think 80% of the work we do is just parts that wore out because of all the salt they put on the roads around here. Spray some panther pee on her. Get some bigger snap ring pliers for one. Okay, half an hour later I can come back and work on this some more. Now that should come out there a little easier. This was loose in there. We'll see if that'll come out so it won't interfere with our ball joint press. Oh, let's see. Spray a little more on there. See if we can get the ball joint press in here. Press her out of there. Well, I disconnected the outer tie rod so I could swing the steering knuckle and everything out of the way so we could use a real ball joint press. There we go. There, I cut the rubber boot off and cleaned everything up with some brake clean so we can kind of see what's going on there. If you look at it, it's even shiny. Get it in the picture there. It'll focus. See how shiny it is there across the surface? So it looks like it's been like that broke, and then it's been moving around, so maybe that was a popping noise. Then after we lifted it up on the hoist, it moved it up just enough, and then it came out and separated. That's what I'm guessing what happened, but I don't know what would have caused the ball joint to break to begin with right there. So we're going to take another look at it and see the other side, and where the rubber boot sits on there, it's tight up against her, so you can't really see. But if you look, it doesn't look like, or you can see that this is all ovaled out here on the spindle. And I'm guessing, like if you look, when you put the stud down in there, it's not seating tight. There's a big gap back here, and see it's about as wide as the screwdriver, so it wasn't sitting in there. So I'm guessing it might have been rocking in there. It doesn't really look that bad down here. You know, it's not all worn clean, but I would guess that didn't help anything with, if, you know, you're not getting any holding strength right up along the edge there. So it looks like we're gonna have to end up replacing the spindle on this also, so that way we can get the stud to seat in there properly. I'm guessing that might probably came loose originally, and that's what caused the original one to fail. That's why it's got a replacement one on this side and not on the other side. But probably what I'll have to do for now is just get the new ball joint put in and at least get it out of here, you know, so it's not taking up a stall while we're waiting for more parts. Well, the struggle is real. This is what we're fighting now. The ball joint that came out, I don't know if it's a Moog brand or what, but it's got splines on it, and it pressed out really tight. You still can't. But the new one that we got, and it wouldn't be so bad, except for it's pretty loose in there. It's got a snap ring, and it came with some sort of Loctite and stuff you're supposed to put around it, but I don't think I'm going to trust Loctite to take up that much slop. So then I thought, while we're trying to figure out what's going on with the ball joint, thought we'd put the boot on for the CV boot. So then I open up the box for that, and this is what we get for a boot, which usually that's the sign of a inner CV boot. You got the 3 little bumps in it there. This is the one that came off of it. It's all nice and smooth in there. Here's our joint, and then I looked it up on the computer and make sure we got the right part, and they only list that one CV boot. So it was either box wrong or something, so we're running out of time. We're just gonna, they had a whole new shaft on hand, and we're gonna fix it that way. Well, here's a better look at what happened here. You can see how that's all egged out. This is the one we got from the salvage yard, how nice it looks. So we should be all ready to start going back together. Well, now I'm going to start putting it back together. Hopefully you'll be able to hear everything over the waste oil furnace. Check this half shaft and make sure we got the right splines. That locked in. Our used spindle, you can see it looks pretty nice. It had some corrosion around where the wheel bearing goes in, so I threw it in the sandblaster and cleaned it up. See down. put on there. Decided we better put the upper ball joint in next so that's not fighting us. Now we'll lower it down a little bit so we can do the wheel bearing. Start out by spraying some grease on around the hole and stuff, because otherwise those wheel bearings just get stuck and seized in there. We can use just about any kind of grease. I used to use anti-seize, but it gets so messy if you ever have to take it back apart and get it on everything. This stuff's kind of semi-clear and it's non-toxic and all natural, so it's not really polluting. And I've cleaned around the surface there. I'll spray a little bit of grease on there and help protect it. One thing you want to do is make sure you're putting this on correct. If you have to, go look at the other side or something, because if you put the crown around the other way and then you go to put the rotor on, then your rotor will rub on there. And you got to make sure it's clocked properly. So you got your hole out for your sensor and a cutout for your brake caliper to slide on. If that's off a hole, it can mess things up. Then when you put your hub assembly on, make sure you line it up with where your sensor hole is. So you don't want to turn it and have it, and then you go to put your wire where it belongs and it's screwed up and you got to take it all back apart. You can see I just took a grinding disc and cleaned all the crud off of there, so we'll have good clean mounting surface. And then I just kind of lightly sandblasted the hub surface, so when the rotor goes back on, I won't have any rust jacking on there. And I'll spray a little bit of stuff on there and spray some in the hole on the splines for the shaft, so to prevent that from getting seized in there someday. Now we spray a little bit of fluid film on there. Go clean up the back side of the rotor. It's looking pretty cruddy. I put the screwdriver. I can't get anything done today. The last couple of days my wife's been sick, so I'm trying to do office work and answer the phone and make estimates. People come and pay their bills. I think everything takes me twice what it normally should take. Now it feels like this inner joint's binding up here. I'm wondering if maybe something happened. That's why it had that different half shaft. Maybe that one had more movement to it or something. I'm gonna have to take it underneath here and compress the suspension a little bit, and now it spins freely. So I suppose as long as they don't jump this thing in the air, we should be okay. look up the torque spec for that axle nut. I looked up the torque spec on this, and it's supposed to be 120 foot-pounds. What I always like to do is just stick a screwdriver or this little pry bar in the fins of the rotor, and then when we have it go up against the caliper like that, and then hand wrench them back on. If we're reusing the wheel bearing like we did on this one, I always hand wrench them off also, because we see that can be hard on the wheel bearing. A lot of people don't do that and never have any problems, but with how many wheel bearings we have go bad all the time here, every little thing you can do to save it, I think helps. Okay, got it snug. Get the torque wrench out. Well, we finally got it all done. We had to ride the struggle bus the whole way, but we got everything all put back together. I got interrupted so many times. After torquing each bolt down, I put some blue paint on it, so then that way I knew for sure everything was torqued to factory specs. So now it just has to go get in alignment. It wasn't too bad, just used a big hammer and a crescent wrench. Have a nice day.